Komozi, Woodard, and Jeanne Theoharis visited the University of Massachusetts-Amherst on Friday, March 26th, after the release of their recent book, Want to Start a Revolution: Radical Women in the Black Freedom Struggle. Their book, which is a collection of essays, challenges the preconceived notions of the roles of black women in the civil rights movement. The publication, however, faced opposition.
Called Bloody Nouns. And so we pushed that through. So what I'm saying is, even 10 years into it, we're still struggling to get these things published, and there's certain politics of denigrating what we're doing. And part of that denigration, sad to say, is intellectual in terms of we're upsetting people by what we're finding. But believe me, we're not just trying to make trouble.
In part, this book is a reaction to the ways that this kind of new flowering of Black power studies seem to be missing and kind of really marginalizing women, and also sort of taking as this kind of axiom that Black power was so sexist that in fact that women were so pushed back. And again, a lot of the scholarship that we knew of suggested otherwise.
One belief that the book challenges is that the civil rights movement was primarily male-dominated, and that women were able to remove themselves from the dangers of the times. However, Woodard suggests a different approach.
What we try to do is say, let's reimagine, let's put women first, at the center. Since you're writing stories around men, and imagining everything around men, what would happen if we put women at the center, right? And then imagine a story, put Harriet Tubman there, and then imagine a story outward from there. How would we write that story differently? Let's do a thought project. And in many ways, this book was that kind of a thought project. Put women at the center, and then see if the old definitions that we had of black radicalism were gender, right? It had a certain gender dimension to them, right? And so we did that project, and it's quite fruitful. When you put women at the center, many of these definitions fall out differently.
Until I arrived in the United States, I had no concept of what racism was. And when I did arrive and I came to learn the culture a little bit, I found it rather puzzling and painful to experience or to see racism or sexism, which was very troubling. I can't understand why that was evident then, and I can't for the life of me understand why it's a prevalent force in our society still.